loads of people were totally pumped up and like loving the music, that I could get into the actual energy of the music itself. But just listening to it at home, throwing it on Spotify or whatever, whatever service you use to listen to music, and just having it in a room that you're just hanging out in, no, I don't think it's for me. But I definitely would be up for going to a concert and just giving it a proper go.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do think that, like, I mean, we've gone to a few sorts, like, we went to a show recently enough because there was no live music for a very long time, and we went along to see, it was kind of like singer-songwritery kind of a thing. Yeah, that was it. It was just like kind of guitars and like kind of folksy kind of things, and we went along just to see it. Totally not our scene, but we're kind of sitting on a lawn outside and just going, do you know what, don't care, it's guitars, it's somebody singing, it's got
it was shit though.
I know, but outside, just chilling.
Yeah, that was
we
it.
fucked off though after about half an hour because I was like, can't listen to this shit anymore.
That bad.
Yeah,
but it was
like a little hipster fucking guy with kind of like fake glasses,
ukulele
and
type things and all the rest. But it was a bit of live music, and we were like, sure, fuck it, just go and see it. A bit of live music, it'll do fine. But it was just nice to see music in a live setting again after not seeing it for like 6 months.
But like, I mean, the thing is, noise music, some people, they don't want you to enjoy it. That's kind of like,
I know it's to provoke a reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even a negative reaction.
It's like that punk fucking kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's just to provoke some sort of visceral reaction. Yeah, exactly.
There is like there's that confrontation.
To get anger, or to get kind of a visceral kind of negative emotion, or
But isn't that kind of the whole point of the art form of music? It's like you want to provoke a specific reaction from people, so you tailor your music to that. It's not always going to be about enjoying or loving the music. Sometimes the artist just wants to piss you off.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's what a lot of music is about. It's about venting emotion as well. A lot of times it's about blowing off steam. It's about getting you fucking riled up. It's about getting you angry.
That's the thing. The majority of people associate music with like popular music, and that it needs to be this and that. And it's like, why does it need to be this and that? Why do we have to follow patterns? Why do we need to kind of like do this and that? Why can't we like experiment and go down and do these kind of things? Why does it just have to be?
It doesn't have to fall into these little cookie cutter sort of,
Music was probably at the very, very start very, very simple. So it was us as humans that like created obviously the instruments and the vocals to suit what we like, and that's why there's so many different genres.
Well, it's the thing as well, the more you kind of like look at, say, different things with bands talking that are kind of like bigger bands that are touring around the world, and the more people say, like, I mean, it's a cliche where like music is universal, it's a universal language. We were looking at a documentary with Iron Maiden there a while ago, and they kept going on saying, look, we're singing in fucking English, and we go to kind of like place in Brazil and like place where people can't speak, and they're singing along in and they know what the song is, they know what it's, and everyone gets along. And you could have people, like, I mean, I guarantee you could have an Iron Maiden fan from Brazil meeting an Iron Maiden fan from England, and even though the language barrier might be there, they will still have
they will
a connection, understand that kind of a thing, and they're probably into the same stuff. It's like, I mean, it's a language.
Yeah, exactly. It's like mathematics. Mathematics, and everyone will understand it the same way. And what's, as you said, what's to stop people from experimenting? You don't have to follow the 4/4 pattern, like they look at prog metal or something like that.
If you have a voice and you want to get it out there, you want to express yourself, you want everyone to understand what it is. Like with noise music, no, if you play that for fucking people up in fucking Alaska that have never listened to it at all, instantly they're going to go, I don't like that. You know, that's like, it makes me, or like what you were saying, makes me feel angry, or it
makes me uncomfortable, or
it's that where it's like, that's the universality of it. Like
this is one thing actually, and I know it is slightly going off topic, and maybe we'll cover it at a different time, but it is one thing that really annoys me about like talent shows and stuff, because they want you to have a specific sound, and there are so many different genres in music and so many different sounds out there that it's like, well, not just one size fits all. So these whole talent show things where it's like, actually you're awful, it's like, no, you just don't like how I sound.
It is, they're bollocks. It's kind of like, who can be trained to sound like what we consider a good singer?
And it changes as well, sort of from decade to decade as well. And it's sort of, at the moment, it just seems to be this whole current trend of like, let's get everyone blended to sound the same and kind of auto-tuned, and like there's this particular sort of,
it's the same thing though, isn't it? It's the same with
with music in general. Like, you hear it kind of like, look at a lot of production videos, people talking about producing stuff, and it's all like, you need to have your 4/4 beat, or you need to have this in time, you need to have your metronome on, you need to have this. And then a lot of the artists that people like, there was a rapper kind kind of like a producer called Jay Dilla, where people go on about how great he, because he was like using unquantized. But what quantized is, it's if say I want to finger kind of like play a drum beat where it's like boom 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 boom.
Yeah, that's a lot of things really wrong at the start. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah. But the computer will put that in time with the 4/4 thing automatically. So if you unquantize it, it'll sound exactly like it's played. So a lot of people now use the quantized things, and they do through like a lot, like their DAWs and stuff, and it all has the same thing, and it's overproduced and they like overly mastered. But people have that thing where it has to sound this way, it has to sound this way, it has to hit certain decibel levels for it to be played on Spotify. It needs all this and so, and it's like you're taking the creativity out of it.
Everything sounds the same. It's all blended to sound all this weird polish kind of thing, and it's like mixing paints, and suddenly everything just has this weird sort of like, I don't know, magnolia colour, where it's just everything is so bland, and it's just like, blech.
It is. Like, I mean, I've said it time, like, one of my favourite singers in the world is Chino Marino. I think he's, like, a lot of people that turn around and go, probably for all kind of like tense purpose, he can't sing. And it's like, he can. He's an amazing singer, just because he doesn't sound like someone on the fucking Voice.
Very unique voice. But if he went, you're right, if he went on something like an American Idol, they'd be kind of like, oh, well, you don't sing like all the boy bands do. So
it's from Tom York. A lot of people say Tom York can't sing. It's like, but that's not that.
He's just got a really unique voice. You hear his voice and you immediately go, yeah, Radiohead. That's
exactly,
it.
And it's like, he is singing. It's just that he's not singing in what
the way
people's
that you want.
or what you expect, or what you've been brought up to believe is kind of
your polished sort of like chorus singing or whatever. Yeah, that's it.
But that is the beauty of music, and one thing that I have learned to appreciate through this podcast is the fact that, like, I do have things that I don't like, but I have grown to appreciate a lot more music now than I did before, because I actually listen to it for the intended purpose, I suppose, in a sense, rather than just going, I don't like this, or I think this is bad or that's bad. It's literally going into it going, okay, well, what's the background? What kind of, instruments do they use? What's their style? Because you have to kind of look at it a little bit objectively when you're doing something like, reviewing things.
Yeah, that's the thing. It does kind of open your mind as well, because I mean, like, I have certain sort of predilections that I lean towards certain styles of music and all the rest, but that's not to say that I can't listen to a good pop tune and go, yeah, that's quite good, quite like that, that's alright, I'll add that to my playlist, how bad? And that's what it's all about.
Well, the amount of songs that I've added to my playlist that I genuinely never thought I would is amazing, because we've looked into, and this is one thing that I absolutely love about doing this, is that we all have very different styles of music, but we can, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, we can appreciate each other's taste.
Yeah.
And we can find a little bit of positive, at least.
Exactly.
Which is really, really good. And I hope that our listeners, do kind of have that experience from it as well, where they may have had one type of kind of interest in music, but they've gone off and researched or listened to other bands, and now they're kind of like, well, you know what, this isn't too bad either, or I kind of like this too.
Well, that's it. Go and listen to Mersbo then.
Apart from when we get to Reese's Skinhead metal.
Well, maybe you won't do that. But yeah, that's it. I mean, go check out some noise music.
Yeah, I suppose for today, I suppose.
If you love it, great, and if you don't, maybe check them out live and see what you think then.
Yeah, I think people should just type in noise music documentaries into YouTube, and the stuff will come up. I think about Boston and Milwaukee, and a few other places. They're kind of like documentaries around, varying from 20 minutes to about an hour and a half, and there's one of, I think it might be The Sound of Noise or something like that. So it's very entertaining, and it covers a load of different artists over, and you see the diversity of the people that's involved in it, and kind of like the diversity of the sounds as well.
Very accepting scene as well.
Yeah, very accepting scene. Yeah, it's great watching these people. I found it very inspirational, like crazily inspirational. Because
people are just they're out there doing what they want, making the music they want, and they're just like, don't give a fuck about anything. I am enjoying life, and I'm enjoying myself. It's about enjoying
the music. It's not about getting a number one hit,
or conforming to or making money. Industry standards or anything like that. Yeah,
it's like I think
it's very creative.
But so I suppose
noise, motherfucker.
If people enjoyed it, listen to other episodes we're saying, what are you doing? Just listen to one. As well, follow us over on Instagram as well to get all your meme kind of stuff. And we will be back next week with something very, very, very different. Where we'll be exploring.
Because we go from one extreme to the other, and that's the great thing about us.
So it'll be like Irish Eurovision pop entries.
How bad?
So until then, thank you very much for listening.
Indeed.
Have a great week.
Slow.
Bye for now.